Welcome back to another balanced budget. Here at Balance While Blooming, we share money, mindset, productivity, and so much more. So welcome back to another budget. If you haven't seen our budget close out for July, go check that out. But this is August's budget. This month had to end on the 23rd. I think it was like the 21st or the 23rd. I forget exactly. But we're going to call this July 23rd through August 23rd. Even if it's the 21st, it will be in this budget. But just for on here, we are doing the 23rd to the 23rd. Now, this month, we are going to have multiple areas of our life touched. We are going to be pulling from things that we have sunk before. We are moving money that was surplus in our account. We have a little bit of rollover from last month, and there's just so much money moving. Now, you will see on our balanced budget spreadsheet, we have our income, we have our bills and expenses, we have our debt, our funds, and our spending funds. Remember, this is our budget. We have been budgeting for over a year now, and I don't want you to see the amount of money that we have and think that you cannot balance your money. I want you to really look at your expenses, where you're spending your money, what are your bills, what do you need to save for, and do you have an emergency fund? Do you have debt to pay off? What type of methods are you going to do to be able to have a balanced budget? For us, we paid off our car last month. We do have bad debt in collections, but we pay off our credit cards every month. We don't have a credit card bill. We don't have any more student loans. We don't have car loans. We don't have anything that would be really debt above that. So anything that is debt that is not your mortgage or rent should be here to start working off any time that you have. Sinking funds, you should have a small emergency fund, even if it's only $1,000 to start, but we always budget on the lowest of the entire year. You can do it based off what you think your hours are going to be. If it's a heavier month where you know you're going to make more money, do it that way. Figure out the system that works for you. This is our budget spreadsheet. If you want it, reach out to me either on Instagram or over in my email, which is all linked down below. And I hope that you guys join this community. I get a lot of people who start with budgeting and move into other areas of your life. And remember, finances is just one area of your life. If you would rather start somewhere else in a different area of life, that is okay. But always come back to understanding your finances are so important. And it's just another area of life for you to learn one step at a time. Now let's jump into our budget. Jumping right in, you should always start with your income. Your income is your bank, right? This is where your money is coming in and out. This is where you have to figure out every single penny that is coming in to be able to put in every other category. Especially if you zero-based budget. If you do not have your income, you cannot subtract everything else to get your zero. So as always, if you are new here, my husband has a hourly job. Now, he does not get paid $400 a week right now, but let me tell you, he does typically get more than 400, but on the slow seasons we do have a few months where it is about $500, so I'd rather be on the low end. He also has a fifth paycheck this month due to us moving over the 26th of July. This is about a week late, but I had to figure out all the rest of my money before and what we were actually going to have to pay for this month before I could get this up for you guys and really finish our budget. For me, I get paid more than this, but this is the low end of my salary. We once again have an extra paycheck that we moved from July 26th. I am paid bi-weekly, he's paid weekly. And then we have our mother-in-law and then my brother-in-law and his girlfriend, and they pay rent, so we call them tenants just because we do think when they move out we will keep tenants, maybe not at this rate, but we will keep our tenants as is. So typically this is what we have for our money right now. what I want to do this month is move some money from an account that we don't really touch. And I figured, why do we need so much in this account that only moves our rent? It only needs a couple $100. So we need to move $400 from this category. Then we have a rollover. Our rollover from last month was about $500. So we are going to be moving $500 from last month's budget into this month's budget. So it's not directly going into savings from last month, nothing like that. We are rolling it over to the next month, which is different from zero-based budget. People, whatever's at the bottom, typically gets moved into savings directly. We decided this month to roll it over. Some months we do that and just move over like $100. Then moved from savings. So we're gonna put savings here. Is $2,500. So this was sunk over the last few months, $2,500 for health and wellness. So these are out of the ordinary. These are things that we don't always do. So from our savings is $2,500. Why we need that is because I am getting my wisdom teeth out and I need to make sure that I have the payment readily available. Even though I'm not getting my wisdom teeth out till the 27th, which is after this, they want me to pre-book when I make my appointment. So I just did that a couple days ago. Now let's figure out where our income sits for our total. Let's add this up and figure out where we are. Okay. It's a great month at $11,900. So this $11,900 will now be dispersed through all of our bills and expenses, any debt that you would have, savings, and spending funds. Now, I had to really sit down with my husband and talk about our sinking funds, talk about our goals, and really figure out, as we are going into crazy birthdays time, we are going into planning for Christmas, and not that we go over and beyond, but I want to make sure that everything is where the money needs to be. So we are actually taking a step back from our quarterly and our 6-month goal for our savings, and I printed out a whole new savings goal that I'm going to talk about in the last quarter of really where we're changing our money and why we're not going to hit our 6-month goal or our quarterly goal. And it's now going to be a bigger goal where if we can save more than what we have projected for each month, we will be on track for all of our goals in a timely manner that we want. So you guys will kind of see that a few things in our goal situation is not going to be there. Before you even get into your sinking funds, spending funds, you need to figure out that you have all of your debt payments and you have all of your bills and expenses saved up for. Now, that can be scary for people because they don't know how much they're actually spending. And this is where you need to look at your bills. You need to look at where your money's going and really figure out how much you are paying for everything. Now, as always, our rent is $1,400. So yes, our tenants basically pay all of our rent. Now, we pay for all improvements in our house, as I said, all the toiletries, everything like that, but we also pay the utilities, which is $500 flat fee for our landlord. She just puts that towards all of our bills and expenses. Instead of being variable, we've made it a fixed cost that we pay her. Now, we do not have a water bill. We had that last month. It gets paid out quarterly, but we do have our internet, which is $115. My husband's phone bill, that is $35. Our gym this month is normally $35, but we have to pay our annual fee, so it's going to be about $100. Our gas, it does well with our $300. Our health insurance this month is going to be $700. I have to pay copay fee and then $500 to pay this month and next month's health insurance. So now here are all of our fixed costs. These are the ones that don't really change. Obviously, as I said, this is normally $35 instead of $100, and this is normally like $500, not $700. Now, subscriptions is something that we could step back from, but it pays all of our Amazon subscribe and save, our Xbox, my Apple Cloud, and a few other things all go into those subscriptions. Now, Everyone gets a heart attack when they see my grocery bill. It is $1,000, but as I said, we buy everything in bulk. We are feeding 3 to 4 people. We have a preteen that is eating like crazy, and we are trying to eat at home more than ever before. And my husband is home for 2 meals. I'm home for breakfast and dinner. He's home for lunch and dinner. We just always need to have food in our house. And we also count our weekend stops at the convenience stores as our groceries, just because we normally grab snacks and drinks that we don't keep in our house, and those are kind of now budgeted into this $1,000, but we like to stay in there. We also have moved our supplements into there, and any of our shampoos, anything like that we normally get online is going into our groceries as well, which they used to go into the miscellaneous into our spending fund. So if we really wanted to cut back on our groceries, we could figure out where we're actually spending at our convenience stores, and our supplements, our hair care that's a little bit expensive, our skincare that's expensive, all of that stuff I'm putting into groceries, because it's no different if I was to go to the grocery store and get those products. That I figured it was smarter to have a higher grocery fund and be able to save that into our emergency fund, where we usually sit between $3,500 and $4,500, and on a high month we are at $5,000. So let's figure out where we are, but that is why our groceries are at $1,000. Okay, not bad at all. $4,275. So of course we're on the higher end this month because of our upped gym bill. We have health insurance this month, and just realistically living life. And this is where we talk about balance, that as long as you know where you're kind of in the range and you stay within that measure, you are living a balanced life and your budget is balanced. If you know from $3,500 to $4,500 is your average, don't go over $4,500 unless it is something drastic. So now going into our debt, sinking funds, and spending funds. For debt, we have to only talk about our bad car debt that is in collections. I'm just going to write collections here. We won't be able to save this much every single month, but we want to put $1,500 into there this month. It's about $9,000 to pay that off. We are hoping to put this much in there this month and then do only a couple hundred every single month and have it paid off by mid 2025, or at least paid off. And we know we have a little bit extra this month, so we knew that that would be possible, but we are going on the high end for that this month just because we need to find balance. We are going to go right into our spending. Normally, I would recommend going into your sinking fund. The only reason I'm not doing that this month is because life is busy, and to be balanced, live our best life, and be able to have the luxuries that we want while living the life of our dreams, we need to find this balance. So talking about spending funds, we have a lot to spend on this month, which is kind of dangerous. So this month we have the typical his, hers, fam, and dine out. Then we have other and miscellaneous, and birthday. So you saw birthday vacation last month. My husband and I are doing birthday vacation. It's about $1,500. We paid $750-ish last month. We will have to pay that again next month. But what this is anything for my stepson. I'm getting a big gift for me that I talked about, that I will quickly talk about here. And then also for my mom, and anyone else that has a birthday, that we are going beyond just a card in September. Our family is crazy with September and August birthdays, and I'd rather do it all in August because we are going to have a tighter budget in September. Then health and dental is where my wisdom teeth come in, and that is a hefty bill this month. This is the $2,500. Everything that we moved from savings is going right back to health and dental. Now, $1,300. Why are we putting $1,300 into our birthday? I got myself a new computer. It came in on August 1st, so I will be editing on there. I will be uploading on there. It's something that I've been asking for a couple of years. The boys pretty much get anything and everything that they want, and I usually just ask for trips, and I put it in our Amazon cart, and my husband bought it for me. It's about $1,000. And I wanted to cry, and I love it, and it's so great. But honestly, I just feel so grateful we can afford it and that we can pay it off and have everything, and that this month was the month that he was like, if you're gonna put it in there, I want to do that for you. So that's what we're doing. Then we have $375 for miscellaneous. That's on average between $375 and like $400 is usually our random spending. And then we are splurging a little bit this month for fam fun. Part of this budget was going to the fair. That's about $250. Our county fair, I talked about that as well in my monthly reset. I talked about getting my computer because I knew that was coming in. And then we also went to the county fair at the end of July, which was in this budget, for about $200. And then we typically spend about $500 on hers, and dining out. We are going to hopefully save some money here as well. But this is going to be a lot in spending, and so I wasn't sure how much we were going to sink, and that's why our collections had to be $1,500 this month. So let's figure out what our spending funds are, how much we have, and then let's figure out to zero-based budget how much we can actually sink this month. Okay, wow. Almost $5,000. So almost 50% is going to spending this month. That is crazy to me, but this is where you get the balanced life. There's months where you do really great savings, other months that you spend more, but when you have that budget, you can find that balance within yourself. Again, this is technically going to get sunk, but we need to separate it because we need to actively be saving for it as if it's a payment. Now, let's figure out how much we have left to get this down to zero as we zero-based budget. So the way you do that to figure out how much you are going to sink is take your income minus your bills and expenses minus your debt, and then you normally minus your sinking funds to get how much you'll be able to spend, but we did it the other way around. So let's figure that out. Wow, okay, that's not bad. We still have $1,250 to work with. That's not bad at all. So let's quickly talk about where we are going to put our money. As always, we have home. And then we've been trying to put some into our emergency fund or health and dental, but this month we need to get ahead for that $750 for vacation. So our home, because we have 3 paychecks, we tried to pull at least $250 per my paycheck. So that's going to be $750 into our savings funds. And then what does that leave us with? Not bad to pay the $750 next month. We have to only save, oops, I don't know why I did that. That's gonna bother me. Sorry guys, let me wipe that out. We have $500 for our vacation, which means we only have to save $250 more next month. Everything else can be moved from savings from our sinking funds. So once again, make sure that your income minus your bills and expenses minus your debt payments minus your sinking fund minus your spending equals zero, and that's how you get a zero-based budget. This is just our budget. Not everyone has dual incomes. Not everyone is making the amount of money that I'm making or that my husband's even making. we lowball where we're going. We are moving money from our account into savings. So 400 of this 750 is going into our collections, right? Our rollover. Hopefully between these 900, we're really only having to save 600 of our income. We have already sunk some money and was letting us spend a bit more. So understanding when the months you need to save your money more and when you need to spend more, and figuring out what your bills and expenses are, what even the debt payments are, figure out your minimums, figure out how you can attack that debt as fast as possible and as quickly you feel comfortable as a family, as an individual. Understanding that you have children, that they want to experience life, that you have that fam fun. You go on dates with your husband, you go on dates with your friends, you hang out with people, you go on trips. That is part of balancing your life. You have the financial literacy to say yes and say no. When you know which months you can put a little bit extra money to fun is so important. Now at the end of the year is when we push more towards our spending, but we have saved so much throughout the year. Our savings has never been as high as it is right now. I cannot believe how much in the last few months we have put into our home. I cannot explain to you how quickly we paid off our car. I cannot tell you when we found out this collections and figured out we couldn't do a payment plan and had to save, how quickly we figured that out. But knowing that balance, figuring out when it's going to be beneficial to you, but realistically make sure that you know every penny coming in, every penny coming out. Even if you don't set a budget, start tracking. And as always, keep balancing your life. Life is more than just budgeting, finances. There's so much more between your mindset, who you want to be, who you're becoming, and believing in yourself to become more, build the life of your dreams, and bloom into the person that is balanced and becoming the person of your dreams. I cannot say that enough. Bloom into the person that you want to be one day at a time. And as always, keep balancing your life, keep blooming, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.